It worked in mice. It worked in mice.
And welcome back to It Worked in Mice, the only health podcast that acknowledges most of these miracle cures will never, ever make it to your local pharmacy. I'm Alex.
And I'm Piper, and that is not true. We are on the cusp of amazing things. Every week we get closer.
The cusp, Piper. We've been on the cusp for my entire adult life. I'm starting to think the cusp is just a cliff we're all about to happily walk off of because a study of 12 people in a lab somewhere said it was a good idea.
Oh, stop it. You love it. And today we have some genuinely huge, relevant news. This isn't about extending the lifespan of a specific type of earthworm. This is stuff that affects millions of people, starting with one of the most prescribed medications on the planet.
Let me guess. They found out aspirin is actually made of sugar and hope.
Close. It's about statins, the cholesterol-lowering drugs that, depending on who you ask, are either life-saving miracle pills or the source of every ache, pain, and forgotten password in the modern world.
Ah, yes, statins. My uncle swears his started making him forget where he parked his car. His doctor said it was just part of getting older. My uncle said his doctor was just part of the conspiracy.
Well, your uncle might be mistaken. A massive new meta-analysis published in The Lancet looked at data from 19 different double-blind, randomized controlled trials. We're talking over 123,000 participants.
Okay, that's a few more people than my uncle, I'll give you that. What did they find? That the memory loss is real and I can tell him he was right all along?
The exact opposite. The study found that for the vast majority of side effects listed on the bottle, we're talking memory loss, depression, weight gain, sleep problems, dementia, there was no statistical difference between the people taking the statin and the people taking a placebo.
A sugar pill.
Exactly. People taking the placebo reported memory loss and muscle aches at almost the same rate as people taking the actual drug.
So, you're telling me that for years, people have been blaming these pills for problems they were probably going to have anyway. That sounds incredibly human.
It's the power of suggestion, right? You get a prescription, the leaflet lists 20 possible side effects, and suddenly you're hyper-aware of every little twinge. The study authors are actually calling for the drug labels to be revised so that patients and doctors can make more informed decisions without being scared off by a long list of problems the drug probably doesn't cause.
Okay, I have to admit, that's significant. So what did it cause? It can't be a complete free-for-all. Nothing is.
There was a very small increase in the risk of abnormal liver blood test results, but, and this is the important part, there was no corresponding increase in actual liver disease. So while it might change a number on a lab report, it doesn't seem to lead to a real-world health problem.
So the biggest side effect of statins is worrying about the side effects of statins. I like it. It's beautifully ironic. All right, what's next on the list of things we've all been wrong about?
This one is fascinating, and it's about autism. For decades, the conventional wisdom has been that autism primarily affects boys at a rate of about 4 to 1.
Right, that's just what everyone knows. Is that not true either? Is anything we know true anymore?
It's not that it's untrue, it's that it might be misleading. A massive study out of Sweden tracked nearly 3 million people, some for as long as 37 years. They found that while boys are diagnosed much more often in childhood, the girls start catching up during their teenage years.
Catching up?
To mean the rate of diagnosis in girls and young women steadily rises through adolescence, so much so that by early adulthood, the number of autism diagnoses among males and females is nearly equal.
Hold on. So it's not that fewer girls have autism, it's that we're just missing it for their entire childhood? That's not a hopeful story, Piper. That's a story about systemic failure.
I see it as hopeful because we're finally realizing it. The researchers think it's because girls tend to have stronger social and communication skills, which can mask the underlying traits of autism. They might be working twice as hard to fit in, to camouflage their struggles, so they don't fit the classic male-centric stereotype of autism we've had for so long.
So they just suffer in silence until they're teenagers or adults and things get too overwhelming to hide anymore. Great, and here we are patting ourselves on the back for finally noticing.
But noticing is the first step, Alex. This study is a huge signal to doctors, teachers, and parents to reevaluate how they look for autism in girls. It means future generations of girls might get the support and understanding they need much earlier, instead of feeling lost or broken during their most formative years. It's a course correction. It's progress.
I suppose. It's just frustrating that something so fundamental was overlooked for so long. It makes you wonder what else we're completely blind to right now. All this new information is making my brain hurt. I think I need a break before I start showing signs of that cognitive decline we're supposed to talk about later.
Okay, fair enough. Let's take a quick pause. My brain could use a stretch too.
Speaking of which, don't you have a jingle for me to play or something? Give me 10 seconds.
It worked in mice. Worked in mice. That sounds real nice.
Sounds real nice.
Will it work for you? Let's find out what's true. It worked in mice.
And we are back. Did your brain get a sufficient reboot, Alex? Or do I need to start reading you studies about the benefits of power naps?
Very funny. My cognitive function is, for the moment, stable. But let's not push it. What's our next piece of potentially life-altering, probably not applicable to me research?
Okay, this one is for everyone who's interested in diet and gut health, and it's about intermittent fasting, or more specifically, time-restricted eating.
Ah, the trend of cramming all your meals into a tiny window of time so you can spend the rest of the day hungry and telling everyone about it. I'm familiar.
Be nice. It's a serious strategy for a lot of people. And a new study looked at its effect on people with Crohn's disease. Crohn's is a chronic inflammatory bowel disease, and it can be really debilitating.
Right. So what did they find? Did skipping breakfast cure it?
They took a group of people with Crohn's who were in remission, but were also overweight or obese. The intervention group was asked to eat all their food within an 8-hour window for 12 weeks. The control group just ate normally.
And?
The results were pretty striking. The group doing time-restricted eating saw their stool frequency decrease by 40%, and reports of abdominal discomfort were cut in half. They also lost more weight and saw a decrease in key inflammatory markers in their blood.
Okay, a 40% symptom reduction without changing the actual medication is not nothing. I'll admit that's impressive. But let me play my part here. How many people were in this study? 12?
It was a small trial, 20 people in the intervention group and 15 in the control. So yes, it's not definitive proof for everyone. The researchers themselves call it hypothesis generating.
And they were all in remission and all carried extra weight, which is its own source of inflammation. So we can't say this would help someone in the middle of a severe flare-up or someone who isn't overweight.
Of course, it's not a magic bullet, but what it suggests is that for a certain group of patients, this could be a powerful, non-drug tool to help manage their condition and maintain remission. The lead researcher noted that visceral fat, the deep abdominal fat, can contribute to inflammation, so the weight loss itself was likely a huge factor. But they also saw improvements in gut microbial diversity. It seems to be doing more than just shedding pounds.
So it's a promising start. Another tool in the toolbox, but not a replacement for the whole toolbox. I can live with that. It's better than eat this one weird fruit to reverse aging.
Exactly. It's about adding options. Okay, for our last topic, let's end on something I think we can both get behind. Something that millions of us do every single morning.
Stare into the abyss and question our life choices?
Drink coffee or tea. A new study in the journal JAMA adds to a growing body of evidence about caffeine and brain health. Researchers analyzed data from over 131,000 people, following some for more than 40 years.
That is a long time to watch someone drink coffee. What did they find out after 4 decades of observation? That people who drink coffee are more awake than people who don't? Groundbreaking.
They found that participants who drank the most caffeinated coffee had an 18% lower risk of dementia than those who drank little to none.
An 18% lower risk. Okay, that's a real number. How much is the most? Are we talking a pot a day?
The sweet spot seemed to be around 2 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee or 1 to 2 cups of caffeinated tea per day. The benefits were really seen in that moderate range.
Huh. So my morning ritual might actually be a long-term investment in my cognitive future. I've always said it felt productive. Now I have the data to prove it.
Right? It's not just about getting through the morning, it's about protecting your brain for decades to come. And it wasn't just a reduced risk of a dementia diagnosis. Those moderate coffee and tea drinkers also reported less subjective cognitive decline. You know, that feeling of being less sharp. And they performed better on objective cognitive function tests.
Okay, but here comes the big question. Correlation or causation? Is it the coffee itself, or is it that the kind of person who regularly drinks coffee also has a job, is more socially active, reads the paper, other things that are good for your brain? Did they account for that?
That's always the challenge with observational studies. But this was a massive, long-term data set, and they can control for a lot of those factors, like diet, exercise, and education. While it doesn't prove cause and effect like a randomized trial would, it builds a very strong case. The authors think the antioxidants and other plant compounds in coffee and tea, in addition to the caffeine, are likely helping to protect the brain.
Fine, I'll take it. It's the best news I've heard all day. My one vice is actually a virtue. Don't you dare come back next week with a study that says it causes something terrible.
I wouldn't dream of it. So let's wrap it up. What have we learned today?
We've learned that you should probably be more skeptical of your statin side effects, and we should all be less skeptical about autism in girls. We learned that eating in an 8-hour window might help some people with gut inflammation, and that my coffee habit is basically a health regimen.
I'd say that's a pretty hopeful and productive session. We're getting smarter about our health, questioning old assumptions, and finding new strategies, some as simple as the drink you have every morning. It's all about progress.
Right. Well, all this talk has made me thirsty. I'm off to brew another cup of that anti-dementia juice. This has been It Worked in Mice. We'll see what else might work in humans next week.
This sounds real nice. Will it work for you? Let's find out what's true.